Because for Reverend Jackson, a loss is just simply the starting point for our next battle. You all know in 1971, when this operation called Breadbasket was reimagined, and it established what we know today as PUSH. Fierce dedication to a platform that, quite frankly, embodies the very hopes and dreams of those of us who are descendants of slaves. Because during the emancipation, Black people said healthcare, education, jobs, housing, and transportation. Now I've offered a friendly amendment to our ancestors' dreams. We need a real plan for a new green economy because global warming, y'all, is real. Now you all know a couple of weeks ago it was pouring down rain. Every West Sider that had my number texting me. A lot of pressure when you're the West Side. So let's go ahead and do it. Just do it just because you want to do it anyways. Doesn't it feel good to have a mayor that lives on the West Side? So as it's pouring rain, it's 110 degrees in other regions. Smoke is coming across the border from Canada. And I told my wife, if the locusts begin to fall, it's all revealed. Because it is at hand. But in 1984, you took that push and you took it across this country. And you established a platform that our ancestors could be proud of. And before anyone was talking about health care for all, Reverend Jackson said single payer. Before we started talking about changing the economy that speaks to the interests of all people, Reverend Jackson said multicultural, intergenerational movement to bring about real transformation across this globe. And I thank you for that collective power and struggle. But the part that I'm actually really impressed by is that you understood your assignment, sir. All right. See, sometimes people wish to become kings and rulers. And then there is an accountability system that the Bible established through its prophets. Okay, now, I know I'm mayor of Chicago, but I think my grandfather would say, I think I feel my health covered. Because you understood the assignment, much like Elisha, the Bible describes Elisha as an instigator of a holy war, where not only did he feed prophets and make sure that they wouldn't die, the Bible says that he also trained up other prophets. Because Reverend Jackson understands the power and the authority that comes with the mantle. And it is through that power, that authority, that a brother on the west side of Chicago can hear the prophetic voice of Reverend Jesse Jackson polling at 2.8%. But yet, here I be. Yeah. Now, of course, we're grateful that we don't have to say farewell. Hallelujah. We could just simply say, Reverend, I'll call you right back. I ain't the only one. Y'all know we keep blowing our phones up. But the person who answered the call, grateful that our brother, Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes III, answered the call. So I don't mean to be rude, but let me officially welcome you to the city of Chicago. You have been a proven leader, someone that has not just the aspiration or the inspiration, but the gut and the instinct to lead in this very perilous time. Grateful for you as an organizer and as an activist. And something that's important to me, a committed man of God. Wow. I'm grateful that you are the leader that will carry on the legacy of Reverend Jackson. What an incredible honor, sir. Yeah. Now, as I close, it's important. Okay. I'm ready. Okay. That's the first. I got two more. Now we know that in this economy that there are individuals that are thriving, but for too many of us, we're left behind. You know, as we look around and we see our neighborhoods that have been neglected for too long, poverty and crime are taking root. And though my wife and I love living in one of the greatest neighborhoods in the world, the Austin neighborhood on the west side of Chicago, we do recognize that over the course of decades, the disinvestment that has caused tremendous isolation and abject poverty to be the ruling form of governance. I am so grateful that we have a moment in our nation's history for the city of Chicago to lead the way for full transformation. What does that look like? For too long, our communities have been thirsty. I believe it's the words, the lyrics of Gregory Porter, where he said that the water can't even make mud, because that's how dry it has been in the city of Chicago and in this nation for too long. But he also said, watch what happens when the people catch wind, when the water hits the banks of the hard, dry land. And what does that water look like? I'm talking about Bush. I'm talking about a political movement that reroutes the river where the lands have been dry for too long. Where we don't leave it to chance for the people of Chicago and this nation to access the wealth of this country. No one should be too poor living in one of the richest cities, in one of the wealthiest countries, at the richest time in the history of the world. As Reverend Jackson would say, there's more than enough for everyone. So let's commit ourselves to the very dreams of our ancestors. When Chairman Fred said that every child should have something to eat before they go to school. When Chairman Fred said that healthcare should be a human right. That the Rainbow Coalition that we are speaking of today is still alive and well, and the very forces that wish to divide us, they won't be able to do it, because we have a movement and we have the history of those who have come before us on our side. And I'm so grateful to be in a moment where we can share in the wealth that this city has to offer. And that's why I'm committed to making sure that as mayor of the city of Chicago, that our treasure and our heart has to be alive. It has to be. The way we do that by investing in people, because that is the greatest thing that we can do, and particularly our young people. Just make this clear one more time. Now, there are some individuals that wish to characterize our young people in certain ways. And I'm not saying that we don't have our challenges. Reverend Jackson taught us the importance of loving young people, and that hope is alive and well. And here's how I know. I won by 26,532 votes, 27,000 new voters, all under the age of 34, voted in April that did not vote. So, Reverend Jackson, your story is a collection of all of our stories. And that the prophetic mantle that you wore, the bravery, that all of the turmoil, all of the rejection, you never allowed a loss to be a defeat. And because of you, because of your organizing, and because of your conviction, to stay to the course, to finish the job, and to be able to pass it on to the next generation, know one thing for sure, that the city of Chicago, and with the leadership of Brother Haynes III, the movement is in good hands. Because it was Dr. King that said that if the labor rights movement and the civil rights movement were to ever collide, what enormous potential we would have. We are the manifestation of what a generation ago could only dream of. Congratulations, Reverend. I'm looking forward to serving you in this capacity, because we all know you could have been mayor, but instead of becoming just simply a ruler or a king, you decided to make kings and make rulers and leaders.
One more time for the mayor of the city of Chicago, the Honorable Brandon Johnson.